Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We have got another Lularoe video on our hands today. If you saw my recent Lularoe video, it was a lot of mixed feelings about the individual that was on the stage, but overall it was a pretty fun video. This video is probably going to be a little bit more critical and more petty.
I fucking love petty.
Because this is the CEO and founder of Lularoe, Deanne. And she got up and gave a speech and also talked to a bunch of Lularoe retailers that were at this event. It is a longer video. I am going to try and keep my commentary brief, but it should be a good one. And we're gonna get right the fuck into it. But first, we need the disclaimer.
Good for the most part. I'ma need a few ring for the whole squad. Head still on the swing for patrol cars. Know the flow so dope, need a no guard. In the road, give me ease. I'm a coast to the coast guard. Wanna see my whole car.
Now, if you're not familiar with Lularoe, they are an MLM, a multi-level marketing company, network marketing company, social selling company. Some would even refer to them as a pyramid scheme because of the way they run their business. These businesses that are multi-level marketing companies are typically run on a recruitment-based business model. So this requires participants in the business to recruit more people in order to unlock certain levels of commissions that you can earn off of your team. Now, Lularoe was under fire for a little while because of the way they were paying their retailers. They had to change some things. They also had a lot of issues with their clothing at one point because of the mass amounts of retailers that were onboarding. I was one of those people.
Now, when will you learn some sense?
I was in Lularoe for a very short amount of time. I got in right as everything was happening in February of 2017, and I was out by September, I believe, of 2017 because it just didn't feel great. I do have a full video of my experience in Lularoe that I will link in the description. This is one of the first videos that I posted on my channel, so the quality isn't that great, but the story is there and that hasn't changed. Now, Lularoe does have products that they sell. Last I knew, they require their retailers to purchase a bunch of clothing when they onboard, and they sell them out of their home on Facebook Lives, on TikTok Lives, all of those types of places that you can do sales. But now that we have a little bit of background on what the business is, this was a convention for all Lularoe retailers, and they had some top leaders speak on the stage. They had a motivational speaker that I think I'm going to react to. And then, of course, the two CEOs, Mark and Deanne Stidham. So we're reacting to Deanne, and without further ado, here she is.
Well, of course, they put Mark at the first of the day, and then they put me at the end of the day when I've already been crying. So just get with it, because we're all going to share some emotions in a good way, in a really good way. And I leaned over to Mark and Ronnie. I just am so kind of envious of this first grandchild. Those of you that have already had a grandchild, it's ridiculous how amazing it is. And those of you, it's okay, don't wait, don't rush it, it's okay, you're good. But I leaned over to Mark while Ronnie was talking, and I said, we're such losers. We do not watch our children full time, our grandchildren. See, what do you always say? Mercy and what? What is it? Justice. He's justice. I'm always sad. I'm like, and then he goes, you don't want all 37 of them all day long.
Too many kids.
And then I went, oh, you are so right. So right now we have them often, and some of you have been to the Fun Cave, and that's over where Smile is being held until y'all sell it all, please. Because Mark and I need the Fun Cave back so we can have more fun together.
I'm sorry, the who and the what now?
Smile was a Lularoe sister company that I believe was started by either one of her daughters or one of her daughter-in-laws, and it was a children's line. There is a lot of family drama and lore behind the Lularoe family. Maybe that's a deep dive we can do on how they're all connected and how they all have different businesses that are connected, and some of them are out of business and some are still in business. It is so twisted the way this family runs their businesses, but that is, like I said, a video for a different day. But also, I'm kind of creeped out by the fact she just called something a fun room. I'm what?
And then of course Jordan and Nicole and their kids, and it's so fun for me to go, okay, let's say how many grandkids do I have up in Wyoming right now? And you know, they are up there just having the best time ever. And as I was writing down, what could I possibly share with any of you today? My mind reflected almost a year ago when we were in, I think it was Puerto Vallarta. I guess it was more than a year ago. And I looked around and I thought, oh my gosh, I gotta gather retailers and see who I can get to meet me in St. George. And I should have just invited y'all, because y'all would have come. And I still can, but we gotta find a place to sleep. And on my way driving with Julia, are you here? Oh, there you are. With Julia, and I see Robin. Is Holly here? I can't remember her name. Is Holly here? No, she left. Okay, I just want y'all to know that Holly is like ours for like the next 6 months. So we have to get busy and we have to really implement ideas and share ideas. She's not the final decision maker, but boy, oh boy, can she bring some outside perspective. And it's always great to have outside perspective, right?
Pending your approval, of course.
So please continue getting excited when you see and hear from Holly. Back up when we went to Puerto Vallarta, and I had a drive up with Julia, and I had this thought in my mind: what could we share on videos? And we haven't put them together, so don't y'all worry. Nobody missed out on anything yet. Because it was such a new idea, I keep changing things. You know, Dan gave me the thing: be a starter, but be a finisher. So yes, I am going to start getting finished by the end of this year. So, with that being said, some of you that were in St. George just got that, oh crap, Deanne's gonna, oh, I said the word. Deanne's gonna ask me on stage. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna come down to you. And then you won't have to worry. I'll just come and ask you one question, and you get like literally 2 sentences. Got it? Whoever was there, and maybe I might surprise some of you who weren't in that with me. Hold on, Lizanne, I'll let you wait. I just saw her. Keisha, you get to be first. Look at her. She just twinched. She just flipped. Okay, wait, you gotta stand up because everybody's behind you. Okay, so I had this feeling that I felt important to share to the outside world. Why Lularoe? Every one of you know, why did you start Lularoe? Why? You remember it as if it were yesterday. And I sat here listening to Dan's talk, and it just came so overwhelming.
This is where the cult-like behavior begins, for me, in my opinion, by observing what I see. I understand being emotionally attached to your art, your business, your trade, whatever it is, right? Like, you get emotionally attached to the work that you do, right? However, when they're talking about this Lularoe business or any MLM business, it gets really uncomfortable because they're always relating it to a medical condition that they have, the fact that they might be part of a military family, they were in some kind of major debt and somehow Lularoe pulled them out, or they needed a community of friends to help them through a really rough time in their life, so they joined Lularoe. It's never because they have a passion for clothes and they want to sell clothes. It's always attached to something that maybe shouldn't be so closely attached to your Lularoe quote-unquote business. It gives culty vibes for me. Form your own opinion. I'm just sharing mine because that's what we do here on my channel. Let's get back into it.
Yes, let's.
Of what do I have to share with you all? Guess what? You've already heard everything I have to say.
Save me your crocodile tears.
But you have each other. And my mother, when she was dying, said to number 10th child, and all of us, all of our brothers and sisters, I gave you each other. Those of you that have cousins, you may not have a sibling, but you have maybe cousins or BFFs, and you've got Lularoe. So, with that being said, good luck. You're gonna, thank you, Ronnie. Yeah, Ronnie, you started this crying.
Interesting mood shift.
So, okay, so, go ahead.
So, for me, I did Lularoe because it was comfortable. I had health issues. And I never wore leggings, like you guys heard at kickoff.
Let's just address the fact that she led with,
I never wore leggings.
meaning she never wore Lularoe, because Lularoe is very well known for their leggings. They're buttery soft leggings that now fall apart if you look at them the wrong way. But anyway, that's beside the point. She's openly admitting that she didn't know anything about the product. Just there was some kind of deeper story and she joined this opportunity, and I'm assuming she's going to say it helped her out of whatever she was going through.
Person that didn't feel worthy, unloved, just due to situations that was in my past. So when I started Lularoe, as health issues, it was comfortable for me. And because of it was comfortable for me, I decided to do it. If you guys don't know, I'm a physical therapist assistant too. I work full time, and it was something to get clothes extra. That was the beginning. Now, Lularoe has given me all of learning who I am. I always say that Lularoe gave me my life back, but Lularoe gave me the opportunity to know who I am, how worthy I am, and I get to tell other people that are feeling the same way. As women, sometimes we were talking about, you have those bad days. You feel like you're not good enough or you're not doing enough for you and your family. So Lularoe gave me the opportunity to realize who I am. I'm so thankful to Mama and Papa, all the executive team, everybody.
No, what? That's worse than Scentsy consultants calling Heidi and Orville mom and dad. Mama and Papa? No, I'm gonna throw up.
Makes me feel sick too.
That's in here that shows me love, that gives me love. I do Lularoe now because there's nothing else better to do.
I wouldn't say all that.
There's a lot better to do, my friend. There's so much better to do. Get out while you can. Sell off all your inventory and get out. I had a lot of people in my comments on my last video just kind of shocked that Lularoe is still around. And I'm going to be honest, I'm shocked too that they're still standing. I think it's people like this that are so deep into the community part of it that are keeping them afloat. There's no way people are still walking around wearing Garanimals for adults. I don't think so.
Okay, I'm not going to hit all of those of you that were in St. George. And I might talk to just a couple of people that we haven't heard from in a very, very long time. Brittany Hunter, shimmy your body up here. And Kim Roylance, where are you? Shimmy your body up here. I'm getting you. They thought, get up here. Kim's like, what am I? I'm in trouble. She is in trouble. No, I'm kidding. Jessica Yakin, where are you?
So for me, Lularoe, often we talk about being, we're a mom, we're a wife, and often it's kind of looked down on to be selfish and think about yourself. And for me, Lularoe is a place that I can think about myself, and unapologetically, I will say I get to be selfish sometimes in the sense that I think about the things that fulfill me. Because if I can't be the best me, how can I be the best that they need?
Lularoe or any MLM is not the source for that, okay? You can do what's best for you outside of Lularoe. You can make decisions on what you feel is best for you without Lularoe. If your entire life, as far as making choices for you and doing what's best for you, revolves around any business, regardless of if it's an MLM, you need to take a step back and ask yourself some questions about your daily life. Like, is there anything outside of work and kids and being a wife that makes you happy? Because if not, there needs to be some eat, pray, loving, some self-exploration, if you will. Get outside of fucking Lularoe and figure out what you like that doesn't involve you spending money to have to stay there.
How can I be the best mom? How can I be the best wife? How can I be the best friend if I can't take care of myself first? And Lularoe for me has given me that I'm able to pour into other people, which fulfills me in so many different ways. And kind of having that opportunity, I get to take off and go on takeover tours and go to Disney and stay up late and have who was talking earlier, like we stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning. It was Lauren. We stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning and had these late night conversations. If you've ever been to a retreat, you've probably stayed up really late at one of those and had great conversations with people, but we don't have sleepover parties with our friends, right? Like that's not something we normally do, but we have that opportunity in this community to feel that, to be young and to be kids and dance and laugh and act like nobody else is there. And we often lose sight of that. And this community has given us that, and in a way that we can feel comfortable. So Lularoe has allowed me to be me, but through me being able to be me, I'm able to be better for the people that are important to me. So it's okay to be selfish, and it's okay to do something for yourself. It's okay to reward yourself for something. It's okay to do something that's just for you. It's okay to buy those new Nikes just for you. It's okay to do something for yourself, because you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people.
And none of it was actually because of Lularoe. It was just because you found a way to make money. Anyway.
Okay, how many guys do we have in here that do Lularoe? Even if you do it with your wife, your partnership. I see John, Brenda, yeah. Yes, Brenda. And, huh? All right. Yeah, okay. Ryan DeGearing, stand up. I promise you I'm going to be fast. Okay, so you've been in Lularoe a long time.
Oh my God, yes, he has. He sure has. He was in when I was in.
It's a very long time. And that's it. All right, so my friend Jamie took me on the very first Lularoe cruise ever. And I had kind of made fun of her for selling maxi skirts out of her car for a while, and went on this cruise. I came back, and my husband Randy, I told him all about it. And I was like, these people are so cool. I just really love them. And he's like, you don't like anybody. And I was like, I know. I was like, but there's something. I just love it. He's like, we should do it. And I was like, never. Like, no. Like, why would we ever? Like, we're not going to do that. Well, unbeknownst to me, a few weeks later, we get, I don't know, 10 boxes of skirts on our front porch. And I was like, oh man. And I begrudgingly helped him load up stuff. He did pop-ups and started it all. And there was just something about it. And so the very first convention, actually on the plane there, in my mind, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, and I was like, let's just kind of be done with this. Like, we'll go say hi to people, we love it, we'll be done or whatever. Well, then they call him up, and they made a couple Randy tees because he had nothing to wear, and they were like, here's the new item, the Randy tee. And I was like, oh. Man, I was like, well, we can't quit now. And so funny enough is, starting off, it wasn't something that I was super excited about, but Randy actually found his passion in real estate. He opened a brokerage, and I was like, you know what, I kind of like this. Let's figure this out and make it work. And he still helps a lot, and I couldn't do it without him, but I love it. I love the community. I love the people.
So the moral of the story is he joined because they had a Randy tee come out.
Just what planet is this?
Just because a brand has an item of any kind with your name or your partner's name or a family member's name, that doesn't mean that you should buy into it. That is not a sign, but he has been in for a while. So you know what that means? He's at the tippy top of the pyramid and is making the most money in Lularoe.
Show me the money. And some of the people that we've met through it too, Randy's mom, she has a great team. And there's someone here who has had a rough few months, and she made it. And we should all just clap real quick for Jan. We've made a lot of friends here. We all are going through something, and there's something about that we can come here and see people going through tough times, and it's nice that we can all be here for each other. That's why we're still here. We love it.
Is it nice that you could all be there for each other, or is it nice when you hear problems that are worse than yours? So you're like, all right, I'm not so bad off. Really, go to therapy. If you're gonna pay for a community, just pay for therapy because you're gonna get more out of it. A real community that wants to be there for you and wants to support you is not going to have to pay or require you to pay to continue to be a part of it. And something with Lularoe is that if you're not a part of Lularoe anymore, the likelihood of you still being a part of the community is gone, in my opinion.
I actually, when Ronnie said it was like a God thing for her, for me, I found, somebody was like, I'm having a maxi skirt party on Facebook. And I'm like, what? I want a maxi skirt. And I look it up and it's a phone number. And I don't call anybody, no one. I'm like, Rob, can you call? Mom, can you make this appointment for me? I don't call. And I called the phone number and it was Deanne.
Same. But I do make my own appointments. It takes me a while to build up the courage, but I do that.
And then I hung up the phone and I'm like, can we wire our last $2,000 in the bank account to this lady in California? Rob's like, are you sure about this? But anyway.
Sounds like a real smart choice, but you know, I made a lot of smart choices, 4 to be exact, when I joined 4 different MLMs. So who am I to talk?
I think for me, like, this business has just changed so much over, the last 11 years. And I have changed so much. My life has changed so much. I had 4 kids under 4 when I started this, and now they're almost all teenagers, and it's insane. And I spend literally 9 hours a day in the summer driving them all over the place. And I just think, well, what else could I possibly do, let alone love what I do on my own time and schedule? And I'm just so incredibly grateful that I can make it work and be the mom I want to be. That's like the most important thing to me, that I get to show up how I choose with them. And then, work can be secondary while still being super fulfilling and not like an afterthought. So for this season of my life, that is like my biggest gift and blessing from this business.
I love that. And honestly, some of you, and our kids are all raised, obviously, and but some of you are either in the phase that Lisa's in, or will be heading into the phase of taking your kids here and there and everywhere, and you'll find yourself maybe a little bit of angry or murmuring, that's what I call it, and frustrated that, oh my gosh, I just went back and got the homework, and now I have to go back to the school, and then I have a lunch money, and so forgot this, and they didn't do their project. But I will tell you, the most cherished time that I had with my kids was that breakfast rush, the chaotic, get in the car, if I have to say get in the car one more time, and watching them all get in and scoot over and quit touching me and all of that. And Michael, who was so mad at everybody, all the brothers wearing his socks, made him so nuts. One day I had to go get up. I just finally said, okay, just stay in the car, Michael. We're going to Target. And I think he was only like 6. And we opened up every package we could. And of course, I bought them all, because when you have as many kids as I do, and Lisa can relate, you're going to need those socks. But those times come. Anybody that's been in my stage or empty nesters can relate and understand. And if I can say anything to you, you are in a cherished time of your life. Whether it's hard, whether you have hard teenagers, whether you have hard kids, adolescents, and raising a family is hard. It is. I mean, honestly, having an animal is hard. You have to make sure that you have the right place for this wonderful, loved animal in your life to be while you're gone. And it's hard. But guess what? It isn't that hard if we make the switch and change it.
Deanne, you make no sense. You make no sense. But also, she is someone that maybe not comes out and says it. Whenever she's talking about being able to be there for your kids and whatnot, it feels very much like she is trying to shame the people who go to work every day, who have no choice but to leave their children with a family member, or put them in childcare, or not be able to pick them up from the bus. Whatever it is, Deanne and a lot of people within Lularoe or any MLM will use the business as a tool to make it sound more appealing to these people who want to be more available to their kids, which any mom wants to be more available to their kids in most cases. But we do what we can. We do what we have to make sure our kids are safe, are cared for. And if going to work and leaving your child with somebody who is watching them, taking care of them, making sure they are safe, that you trust, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be this stay-at-home June Cleaver model mom 24/7 all the time.
I have my June Cleaver moment.
That is not the real world, okay? So can we normalize not making people feel bad that they have to go to f***ing work? Thanks.
Speaking of someone that has been through some difficult times, is Brittany Hunter, who is our number one, very, very, very first incredible human being who walks through, in my opinion, so many fields of fire. You do. And then you leap through the dandelions and puts it all over social media. It's just so wonderful. And if you go on this hike and jump off this 55,000 trillion cliff, you're going to enjoy it. And I want to write back, no, and no, and no. But this is what she does to help her to become her best self. But why Lularoe?
Well, I love that you use the word become, because if you notice on my business page, it's all become. I changed my business name right before I was getting divorced, actually, to become. And I think back about when did you guys incorporate? In 12 or 13? 13. So in 2012, when she was coming around, it was fitted. That's what they started out calling it, fitted. And I don't, and it just didn't connect. And I was like, I don't care what you do. I just want skirts and I'm going to sell them. People want them. And then it became something a lot more deep and passionate as she embraced her family and created a brand.
Again, in before they were even called Lularoe. So we know that she is at the top of the pyramid, benefiting from everybody else, myself included, that joined Lularoe under her or her team members or whatnot.
And Justin and creating that brand. And during that same time, there was somebody else creating the same business at the same time. And it kind of became a competition, but in a loving way. But I had many opportunities to jump ship. It gives me the chills because all those companies are gone.
I mean, Lularoe is not far behind them, are they?
We are taking on water, we are without power, and we are on fire.
Nobody even knows they're around anymore.
So I'm here because they're here. And I don't mind admiring someone like Deanne as a mother and as a grandmother and as a business owner and as a woman who has fought her rear end off. When I met her, they had foreclosure notices on their doorstep. And I would show up at their house and just grab skirts, and they just have embraced my crazy. I've embraced their crazy, and my kids get to embrace my crazy. And they asked me, Mom, what's the best job in the world? I'm like, you're looking at it. I get to be a mom. I get to have the freedom to be your mom. They have seen me go through a lot.
This has nothing to do with Lularoe at all. It has nothing to do with clothes, why you joined the business. It just being a mom.
I'm able to be a mom because of Lularoe.
What, ma'am? What is this? Where the f are we?
And I was talking with Amy today. I don't think we could have gone through and embraced the crazy change of the world without and being on top and feeling on top. I still feel on top.
That's what she said.
Jesus Christ, grow up.
I have to do it at least one time per video. Don't you know that? I probably should talk to my therapist about that. Anyway.
Because amidst all the crazy, like what we have is such freedom within ourselves to create whatever life we want if we choose to. But it is a choice. It's up to me, right? And I would say, Mark would probably know the number of this, but the amount that has been invested into me as a human through this company with leaderships and people that have come to speak to us and who did the retreats, the horse retreat. I mean, we were talking about that, the amount of money that has been invested if we chose to partake in all the leaderships and everything. I would say over $100,000 in me. That's what I'm going to say, because that's freaking awesome. A company that's willing to invest in me, but that's also me choosing. And unfortunately, it has been probably a year and a half since I've been able to be at events because my kids come first. And they will always, and I'll do my best to show up for you guys. And thank you for welcoming me back and understanding. But just know, like, we all are here to support one another and where we're at in our lives. And Lularoe is still here. I will still be here. And my kids will be here when the time comes, because this is a legacy that I'm excited is going to not end. So thank you. Thank you.
Yucky. Oh my God. If you're her kids watching this video, please don't do it. Just abandon ship. Listen, something that I've noticed but haven't really said anything is the size of this room. Lularoe used to have like hotel convention centers for these types of events. If this is any indication of how Lularoe is doing as a business, it's not looking good. But that's just my opinion, and allegedly.
Stand up. Jessica, you're off the hook. Well, she's like, hey, why? I know, don't say why you left and why you came back, because we already had that example. Somebody that left and came back. But why do you do Lularoe? And you're really, he's like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And it's so wonderful to know that we've got, and we feel that way about each and every one of you, but you have quite a few kids and they're all little. And why are you still here?
He's like, I don't know. What is happening? What the fuck is happening?
I think.
Is it really that hard of a question? Or is he gonna cry?
It's because I did quit. And I know what that feels like.
I'm concerned, you guys. Who is holding him there against his will? All this talking is silence. He's just standing there in silence. Me talking is him in silence.
Yeah, I think that's it.
We said nothing.
This is awkward.
That's it. I think that's it, yeah. I know what that feels like. I don't know. That's it. I know what it feels like to quit, and it doesn't feel good. And I don't think I'm a quitter. And yeah, that's literally it. I don't know how to expound on it. I'm usually a man of many words, but this is, yeah, that's it. That's it.
That I just like, what the f? This did not work out in Deanne's favor at all.
Okay, I just asked Kenny, how much time do I have? He said, as long as I want, but I'm not. I promise. I won't keep you here all night long. Kenny didn't really say that. Look at him. He's going, Mom. Yeah. Oh, now you want to talk.
I consulted with my better half, and she has a better bookend on it. I know how that feels, and I don't want people to experience that. Same thing I feel. So, or felt, rather.
Yeah. Okay, after Kim, I want to hear from Kim Caldwell. And I know where she is. I seen her. Okay, so what I love, I'll talk after here. Hey, Kim, stand up. They need to see your beautiful face. Ryan's over here. Hallelujah, I'm done. She just asked me what. Hey, why Lularoe? Why are you still here? What has kept you here? And I know the answer.
Well, first off, the reason I wasn't in here when Deanne first called my name was because with Lularoe, I have built friendships that are so cherished to me. And one of my besties, Danielle, was leaving, so I had to say goodbye. So I'm sorry I wasn't right here, but she had to get home. So that's, for me, that's one of the things that Lularoe has truly made a difference, is having the people that are here.
That's not a business perk. That's a cult. What happens if you leave? Business is not good for Lularoe from the looks of it, in my opinion. So if you leave Lularoe, do those relationships also leave? In my experience, most likely.
I mean, I look around and so many faces are so dear to me, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of the love that we can see within this group. And for those of you that may, and it's funny because even though I've been here this whole time, sometimes I also feel a little bit shy or I'm not in, and it's nice to be able to look around and say, yes, I do know people, and there are people I want to know, and things like that. My Lularoe journey was kind of like, a little bit like Lisa's, in that we were desperate. We had some businesses that for some reasons we lost everything, and I needed to get some money quick. And my daughter signed up for Lularoe because I told her she needed to, because I needed a maxi skirt. And then I went and did a party for her and came home with $300 and handed that to my husband. We were making $10 a skirt at that time, by the way.
That's, say it with me now, before taxes. I decided to sing it, but if you said it, yay you.
I did the party for her. I had $300 cash, and we desperately needed it. And I said, I'm going to do this. And for those of you that don't know, the first entire year of Lularoe, I did 2 in-home parties every single day and 4 on Saturdays because we needed it.
That so hard. Oh my God, the shit you have to lug in and out of these parties is absolutely horrific. The bruises I had on my shins from the racks I had to bring in and out from the convention centers, from the home parties. And people at the time when I was in Lularoe, it was still a little bit popular. It was starting to die down and there was starting to be some controversy about it. However, people were still interested and still buying. So I was having to lug my shit everywhere every weekend because I was still working a full-time job. And I wouldn't do more than one a day. Unlike I would do a Saturday and a Sunday if I had that planned out. Maybe a night one, but never more than 1 in one day. 4 in one day, you have to pack up all those motherfucking clothes into those blue IKEA bags, get your metal racks that you bought off of Amazon and fold those up and put them back in your fucking car and go and set it up and do it all over again 3 more times?
Oh, hell no. And if you think about it, at the time we were carrying totes. Anyway, it was crazy. Lularoe gave me opportunities that I never dreamed were possible. And now, because of Lularoe, I have the opportunity to give back. And as many of you know, Doug and I spend about a third to half the year in Guatemala right now. And every bit of my commission check and every bit of anything I make on my sales goes back to Guatemala right now. We don't need it. Lularoe has set us for life because we made some decisions with it. But
Here's the thing about being somebody that's generous or being somebody that likes to give to charity. The people who do it for the right reasons aren't standing in front of a room telling people that they did it.
How dare you, that part.
In fact, most people don't even know who it is that gives large donations because the people who do it for the right reasons don't go around telling people. This feels gross.
Knowing that Lularoe is making a difference, we are working with not just a few people, but thousands of people. And because of Lularoe, we are able to change their lives. So thank you, Lularoe.
Thousands of people meaning downline? What the fuck? Because of my downline, I get to give back to Guatemala. How about the United States of America? What about us? What about the country you live in? We have plenty of charities here that need help. Anyway, I don't want to get political.
I learned that lesson the hard way.
I'm just making a statement of a fact. There's a lot of charities within the United States of America of which you live.
That's a tough one to follow, but thank you for continuing to bless other people. I got started because I was no longer willing to accept other people. What are you doing? Oh Lord. Hi. I was no longer willing to accept others prioritizing my family and my time, and particularly prioritizing my time as more important than time with my family. So that's why I started Lularoe, and I've been asked to go back to things multiple times. Have not. Lularoe will continue to be a priority because they allow me to prioritize my family as needed, as seen fit. And I know a lot of you can relate.
I would sure hope so because it's your business. You should be able to do your own prioritizing in your business, correct? Call me crazy because I am, but I'm medicated.
I never, ever thought I would be working from home, homeschooling my kids. I was corporate for 15 years and loved every aspect of traveling the world, but I was also missing a lot. So now I have the choices of what I miss, when I miss, how I miss, and get to spend time with beautiful people like you. So.
Okay, almost done, I promise you. Lindsay, where do you think you're going? Oh, okay. All right, here's Kim.
I think mine is a simple statement, but in being a simple statement, it has a huge impact. Mine is a journey with God. It's plain and simple.
Oh, now we have the faith manipulation. We've hit everything. We're just hitting them all.
He directs my hand. He directs my life. And he directs the people that the clothing helps bring into my life. I've always said the clothing are a vehicle that brings us all together, but it's not what keeps us together.
Holy fucking shit. What, ma'am? That's a problem. She is talking about her business. I just want to remind everybody of that. She is saying,
I don't stay at Lularoe for the clothes. The clothes and the business bring in the people.
For what? To talk to them about your religion and also at the same time talk to them about joining your team so you can bless their family. Is that what we're going to hear right now?
I was a nurse for 25 years. I was not finding fulfillment in that. I needed something different. And Lularoe came around a time that I kept thinking, I live in a small town. I live on a farm. I live in the middle of nowhere. Hence, you know that. But God kept showing me the way. And even when I would say no, he would say yes.
Is it God or is it the Instagram algorithm? Which one is it? Because you know those ads be popping up everywhere.
And that's how I have continued my business. Every day I ask God for guidance. There's a lot of changes going on within Lularoe, as you all know. There's a lot of things that people are worried about. My prayer this morning was that I find guidance and I find reassurance. And then Mark spoke. And my heart is happy. And my heart is content. And there's nobody that does that but him.
Nobody that speaks in the world except for Mark? Nobody else in this room sees a problem with this? There has to be somebody. Somebody in this room. There's a child sitting there listening to this bullshit? Oh my God. This is bad.
I would help every one of you in this room with your sales. I would help every one of you become better people because it's not about me. It's not. The clothing have brought us all together. But I stood on the stage last night and I'm very proud of what I've accomplished. But I would share it with all of you if it meant happiness within your lives. And I get to face every single day
with a contentment that I never had before. And I get a face every single day knowing that I'm going to make the world as good as I can in my little corner. I do it with my community of women, and I sure in the heck hope I do it with all of you. So, God bless you all. Okay, hold on. We have 2 more real quick ones, and then I'll be done. I promise you. I promise you. You guys, I want him to continue talking and talking. I know she's right here. We have Stacy, and after Stacy is Lizanne, and then after that, I will wrap this up. Stand up. Stacy, you, the mother of so many children, and the most amazing husband. Where'd he go? Okay, he gets to. Okay, Stacy, you, why Lularoe and your story?
When I started Lularoe, I had 8 kids. My youngest was 11 months and my oldest was 12. So the only thing I could do was to make money was to watch other people's kids. I had 8 and that's what I was doing to help. My husband is California Highway Patrol. So he provided for us, but he never had a day off. He worked every single day, took every single overtime shift he could to provide for our family. And I wanted to do something to relieve that stress and pressure on him. I don't know that we would still be married if it wasn't for Lularoe. I signed up as soon as I found out about it. I actually didn't have the clothes, didn't know about the clothes. My sister needed clothes. She's a little bit taller than me and about 70 pounds heavier than me, so it was hard for her to find modest clothes that she could wear and feel comfortable in. And so I actually referred her to someone that I knew sold Lularoe.
Lularoe is not the only option if she's talking about a plus size option. There's places like Torrid, I think they're still around. Kohl's has, all places have plus size that are probably so much nicer than these Lularoe mix and matches, right? I mean, come on now.
And so I took her over there and asked some questions, and turns out I signed up and I had to beg Heath for the $6,000. I had to promise him that if we could get a credit card and I could pay him back in 15 months, we got 15 months, 0% interest. And if he could give me 15 months to pay back the $13,000 when I onboarded, I got as much as I could on that credit card.
That is something that was encouraged, at least when I was onboarding with Lularoe. Deanne would encourage people to get credit cards with 0% interest rates, and the leaders would then encourage all of the people that were interested in signing up. They would recommend, if you don't have the money, try getting a credit card with a 0% interest rate. So they were advising these people who typically have no idea about how businesses are run or anything to automatically, right off the bat, go about $6,000 to $10,000 into debt on a credit card in hopes that they're going to be able to pay it off. That should be a red flag. If somebody is telling you to buy into a business and do it with a 0% credit card, run away.
And in the first month, I sold $12,500. So I was able to pay him back a lot sooner than I was expecting, and he was on board with what I was doing, had faith in me, and that's why I'm still here. We've been able to do a lot with the blessing of Lularoe. They joke now that he never takes any overtime. He has more days off than anybody else at the office. And that has brought a lot of joy and relieved a lot of stress for our family because of Lularoe. Everything we do, we say, thank you, Lularoe. Anything we do with the kids, they know why I work and what Lularoe has done for our family. So thank you, Lularoe.
What? So every time I fill up my gas tank or every time I go and pay a bill with my money, I should say, thank you, YouTube. Look at my kids and say, hey, let's thank YouTube. What are we missing? What are we missing? This is gross. You're telling your kids to say thank you, Lularoe. That is uncomfy.
All right. What? Anybody? Whoa. Okay. Lizanne, before I wrap this up, here you go.
So, I started Lularoe because I was lonely. So I have 3 sons, and I was the room mom, I was the team mom, I volunteered at school in their classroom, I taught Sunday school, I was the snack lady at church, just all of that. So I was always there for them. They were my top priority. Any extra money went to them. They all played travel sports, you got uniforms, you got yearbooks, lunch money, all of that. So I bought all my clothes at Sam's because I was there like every day.
Listen, I have nothing against Sam's clothes. I buy clothes at Sam's. I have a lot of loungewear from Sam's. However, the loungewear and sets that you can get at Sam's are very similar to Lularoe clothes, and they're likely less expensive.
But during that time, I kind of felt like I had lost myself a little bit. And then after each one of my boys graduated and left, when the first one left, he had 2 friends that practically lived at our house, and so they were gone. So that was 3 very important people that were suddenly, out of my life. I didn't see them anymore. I didn't see their parents anymore. And then the next one left, and his friends left, and then my baby left, and, it was just like, okay, it's just me and Jim Beeson now. Things are great now. Back then, it was weird. It was just weird. And so I thought I was prepared for the empty nest. I actually had looked forward to that. I was not. I was not prepared for that at all. I mean, I thought my kids would leave. I didn't realize that I would lose this whole community at the same time, who were my support system, the school teachers, the other parents. I was not prepared for that. So all of a sudden I went from this big, huge circle of friends to maybe about 2.
There's a big trend here. Another one who lost her community because her kids, she's an empty nester. She's in a place of vulnerability. Whenever you hear of a big story of somebody who was successful in an MLM, they have some kind of vulnerability that somebody is going to be able to relate to, and they're going to be able to recruit somebody onto their team. That's the reason I think they tell these stories. It gives culty vibes, and it's disgusting, and it should never be a reason for somebody to buy into a business. Just leave people who are in a tough situation alone. Don't approach them about joining your fucking bullshit MLM. Be there for them and help them. Don't push this shit on them.
I'm like, this is just not fun. It just wasn't. And so I'd been buying leggings from Amy Perez. I don't know if y'all know who she is. She's in North Carolina. And this was 2016, maybe 2015. And then a girl in my community started selling it, and I met her, and I'm like, okay, this would be a good way for me to meet local people, because that's who's going to shop with me. And what I found, and what I still find to this day, is, yeah, I'm friends with those. Some of them have turned into amazing friends, but the community that I found and that fills me is this group right here. So that's why I'm still here. It's been a little bit of a struggle for me this year. Y'all are while I'm still here. So I love Lularoe and I love y'all.
Okay, those of you that are walking out the door. Okay, everybody, raise your right hand and say, I promise.
Why is she calling out people who are leaving? Let them leave.
Are y'all raising your hand? Okay. Even those of you that shared, I would like you to send and really, really, really time it, because Jason and Jake don't want to have to edit your video. But I would like you to send Jason, how long is 2 minutes too long video? So he said it's good. Okay, a 2-minute video. I want a video of you sharing with me your story. Why you're here. Not your story, but why are you here. Or more importantly, why did you choose Lularoe? And I love that. I love it, because guess what? You haven't all heard from each other, right? It's been a long time since you've really gone, oh, wonder what her story is. Wonder what her story is. Or his story. Or their story. Or whatever it may be. They say the most successful books are written about, and they're told in story. And as you know, Dan stood up here and shared story after story. I took notes. I've heard his story many times before. I have huge respect for Dan McCormick and anyone else who has ever done businesses that have helped you to grow and become your better self. For me, I knew Dan. Mark and I knew Dan. Mark knew Dan a long time before I even knew Mark. So
this has absolutely nothing to do with starting and owning a business. Where is all the actual training for the business that these people actually need to be able to be successful? Like, here's what I did and here's how you can do it too. Here are the systems that have helped me. Here's the software I use for my sales. Here's the times that I go live. Here's what I use for shipping. How about a seminar on taxes, on how to pay your taxes as a 1099 contracted employee?
that was a really awesome thing. And it was very emotional for me to have him share about his upline who didn't make it in an airplane. And he was the pilot. And it's just so short and precious. What I'm getting at is that right now, and I've said it to you a lot, I'm sorry, I can't help but keep thinking about all of the women and families who are on their knees or praying or in a car that doesn't have any gas in it. And they don't know how they're going to get from point A to B to take their kids to this amazing soccer tournament that their child has just really worked hard for. And you have to tell them there's no money. There's no money for gas.
Deanne, Lularoe is not the way for them to do that. They have to spend about $6,000 to just get in the door. So if they have no money to get their kid to a soccer tournament, what makes you fucking think that they're going to have the money to join a bullshit MLM like Lularoe, in my opinion?
I will tell you, if we don't turn the corner of the best things of why we started Lularoe and sharing it, we're missing out on opportunities to serve.
Or are you losing money quickly and maybe you'll have to close if you don't get any more recruits? Is that what it is, Deanne? Tell the people what they need to know.
And you've heard Mark and I say, the more you give, the more you get. If it is to be, it's up to me. Service is the price I pay for the space I occupy. It is so important for every single one of us who are placed on this earth to take charge and really care about somebody else. Take a moment. You don't know why they're having a bad day. You don't know why so-and-so isn't at practice or wherever, but you can make their life just a little bit better.
This is a business convention, Deanne, not a fucking group therapy session. And if it was, you wouldn't be qualified to be standing there in your Lularoe maxi skirt telling everybody how to live their lives.
We are already planting those seeds. We're not letting those seeds die. There's no seeds to be dyed. Is that how you say it? I didn't say it wrong. I mean, I said it wrong. Okay, those seeds are not dying. Whatever the end of it is.
Boo. Yeah, ladies and gents, that's the founder of the big business of Lularoe. Do with that what you will if you're thinking about joining Lularoe. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.